Hello everyone, Praise Scooter here, and welcome back to more of Tears of the Kingdom. Last time, we took our first dive into the depths, and now, a little more explaining about how the depths work. Now, starting off here, things will get a little weird, and it's going to become a little grainy on YouTube, because YouTube processing and everything makes everything look just so wonderful, I'm well aware. But I can only do so much with the technology at the time. When it gets to be a dark place like this is where the Bright Bloom Seeds come into full effect. Also, these creatures right here is why I kind of pushed you and gave you a reason to acquire a very long stick. Because these creatures stay just outside of your attacking range and will lunge at you. Unless you have a very, very long stick. So with a very long stick, you're going to want to go ahead and poke these guys. Now, they are within standard spear distance for poking. But I will still recommend that you get a spear anyway. Just to help with this. Now, these are probably the most common enemies you'll see down here, outside of variations of what's above. But a lot of the enemies here... Oh, hi. A lot of enemies, these enemies drop Zonite. A lot of enemies drop Zonite. Also, careful fighting anything else down here. Like Stalbokoblins. Also, I'm going to take your arm. Bokoblin arms are, can't carry anymore, that's fine. Be careful fighting anything else down here, because anything that isn't those little frog dudes, which are actually called Froxes, new enemy type, oddly enough, introduced in Tears of the Kingdom. Fighting a Frox is the only enemy that will not, give me this, that will not Gloom Blight you, so to say. I'm just going to call it Gloom or Gloom Blight at times. But yes, Froxes are the only enemies that just do normal damage. Every other enemy in this game will do damage in the form of Gloom, which means you will lose maximum health as you adventure. It sucks, it hurts, and typically enemies down here are stronger. Typically, I should say. Which is why I'm being very careful when we're moving, because I'm pretty sure... One, that's a Moblin. Moblins, at this point in the game, can pretty much just knock you on your butt right away. No questions asked. Also, we're going to meet a new enemy type here. Fun! Ooh, hey, puff shrooms. I'll be honest with you, I barely use puff shrooms. Like, puff shrooms are probably my least use of the items you find down here. People who are more into stealth gameplay may find better use for them, but I'm not. Anyway, new enemy type. I missed horribly. A new enemy, I believe a new enemy introduced in here. Maybe it was introduced in Skyward Sword, but I could be wrong. Oh my gosh, I am such a bad shot. There we go, finally. There we go. Usually they only take one shot to KO, thankfully, but... we'll find out their names in due time, but what these enemies drop are actually pretty useful. They are... Aracuda. Aracudas drop their eyeballs a lot. The Aracuda eyeballs, if you're not going to use key swings on your arrows to hit faraway targets, the Aracuda eyeballs are your other option. They have homing properties. And we're talking like Mario Kart Red Shell homing properties, where I'll probably show how they work when we get to that point, but when you do fire an arrow with their eyeball attached to it, when you fire an arrow with their eyeball attached to it, it will home in on the enemy. It won't aim for the critical hit spot or the weak spot of the enemy, but it will at least hit the enemy. So, Aracuda eyes are a good way to hit targets you're having trouble hitting, much like we just saw there. If your objective is to KO more Aracudas throughout your adventure, this is basically like a return investment, so to say. If you want to KO Aracudas, get the one Aracuda eyeball and you can basically get a constant return on it. Aracudas are nuisances. They will constantly be trying to dive bomb you, and when I mean constantly, I do mean constantly. Now, before I close the map here, unless is it going to do automatically? It will. Dang it. We can talk about a couple things here. When you do light up an area, make note of any area around you that looks more advanced or more structured, so to say. There are going to be one or two exceptions to this as we go throughout, but basically, if you see an area that is a little more natural in its appearance, maybe look that way or slightly venture out that way. Sometimes it'll be an enemy base camp, which we'll have to leave be, so I'm going to delete this pin actually. But other times, if you see something that's a little more structured like that, maybe venture your way out there, because there may be something of better use out there in that for armor or gear. Anyway, we found Robbie. What? Look at how bright that thing got. The light down in this dark is downright refreshing. The fact it's so luminous, it's almost like we're on the surface. Just standing here makes me feel so much better. How strange. So, I mentioned Lightroots were going to be a sanctuary or a sanctum for you. Lightroots are your way to dispel gloom when you're down here in the depths. They are also fast travel points for you while you're in the depths. So, if you basically are missing almost all of your maximum health from gloom poisoning or gloom damage, whatever you want to call it, warp back to Lightroot. It'll slowly remove the gloom. Hey, it's you. You're finally here. I need to show you what I found. As you ran off on your own accord. This statue, standing tall on two legs, one arm raised high. Yeah, like the thing that was pictured in Josha's art. Looks like enough like that yeah, I'm not going to repeat myself. Alright, get that camera of yours ready. It's time to put it to work. Camera toko? Very curious indeed, given it's one of the Pure Pad's basic functions. Give me that Pure Pad for 1 second, alright? Okay. Well, there's the problem. Your camera's locked. And so is your Hyrule Compendium. Help. Hang on. If I remember correctly, you press this while you pull this, and then you tap that, and... So this is our second to last function. Oh, I remember the last function now. This is our second to last function we'll get for the Purr Pad. And subsequently the hand. So this is the Hyrule Compendium. We will not be completing the Hyrule Compendium, though I will encourage you to take pictures of things for the Hyrule Compendium regardless for one or two things. Now you should be able to use both the camera and your Hyrule Compendium. Go capture a picture of that statue. This is a good chance to verify that it's working properly too. Test it out. Experience best teacher after all. Once you capture the image, come back here. I want to see how it looks. So the camera, take a picture of a thing. There'll be a... Wait. Okay. A little gold question mark popped up and I got worried it didn't capture properly. How'd you do it? Or how'd that go, rather? Capture an image of the statue with the camera? Then hurry up and show it to me. I'd like to see how it looks. So, did you get a good picture? I mean, I'm no photographic genius, but there you go. What happened to the bitrate? This is nothing on your end, by the way. This is actually, the camera actually got super crunchy bitrate. Stupendous! Look like you captured it well. Sure Josh will be satisfied with this. Lighting up that immense root, getting a picture of a statue. You just started helping us research what's down here. But soon enough, we're gonna have even more to investigate. Well then, it's time to head back up to the surface. See you at the lookout landing. Don't make Joshua wait for that picture. And at this point, you are free to go and explore the depths as you wish. No strings attached. But for how I plan to do things, we're going to go up. Anyway, before we move on, I want to check out this structure that's here on the map. We can see, okay, it is just a dilapidated and knocked over pillar. Don't worry about it. Also, note that the creatures seem to be pointing a direction. If you're ever kind of lost, like, dang it. If you're ever kind of lost down here in the depths for where to go next, These statues are everywhere, and they'll kind of point you in a general direction of where you should go for something greater, but they will help you find more light roots down here. The light roots are something we're going to be going for 100% for. But in contrast to everything else I said we're not going for 100% for, or I guess in conjunction to that, the reward for completing all the light roots is just useless as a lot of the other things I said have useless end goal rewards. I know I'm being very picky about what I'm choosing for my completion status. Trust me, it's a lot better than what I'm making it out to be. And come up here. Okay, that pin will stay there. That's fine. Let's head back to Lookout Landing proper. So now with our picture in hand, let's go show it to Joshua. Oh, and Robbie somehow beat us up here too, even though nobody else can warp around like we can. Hey, you! Show Joshua the picture you took of the statue. The figure matches up pretty well, and it looks darn cool too. Hi, here's this technology that doesn't exist in this world. Cameras. That is it! That does match what's on the fragment. Yeah. Thank you, swordsman! Just like with that slate, this figure must be showing people of some sort, whoever they were. Which confirms my theory that people lived in the depths. I'm sure we'll find more traces of them if we keep searching. This is a big discovery! Now what's next? The possibilities? There's so much to research. Oh, but before I focus on that, there's something I want to give you as a thanks for helping with this stage of my investigation. Our earlier surveys of the depths found all of this. What do you think it's for? Rock. I feel as though these contain some kind of strange power. Like maybe it's energy or something? Anyway, they might help you in your search for the princess. So hopefully you find them useful. That fragment has helped us see the depths in a new way. Now we're closer to understanding one of its mysteries. I can't talk yet. I'm going to sift through everything that our surveys have brought back from down there. Maybe there are more fragments that I could piece together. Goggles? Swordsman? Thank you so much for going to investigate depths for me. So with that, we basically are kind of set on our way in the depths. And the zonite we were given are going to be for something else entirely. Now I'm going to check one more thing here. But I'm also going to... I can tell I'm kind of mentally nope, nothing here. I can tell mentally I'm kind of dwindling and circling the drain, so to say. I'm not all mentally here. So I'm going to... At least for recording session-wise, I'm going to pause things here. I may just cut in and post and say goodbye. Or I may do it or whatnot. But I'm going to end my session here. And the amiibo things, I think I'll hold off on that. Because I think I just need like a few moments away from the recording. Just kind of regather my thoughts. But when I come back, we'll start making our way up towards... We'll start making our way up towards the Heber region to get one or two more things noted. So we can actually be fully let go to do whatever we want. Alright, I'm back in the mix now. So, I'll be honest, I very minorly even remember what the heck I'm doing right now. But I know what I want to do right now before I head off into the next leg of what we're doing here is actually one side quest before we head off where we want to go. This will help for a side quest in the future once we start getting like some main quest things. But, or maybe not. Maybe we can't do this yet. Never mind. Alright, I'm an idiot. This is something I'll come back to later. So I have to just... Sorry, I have to get my bearings in my surroundings. Okay, I got my bearings in my surroundings. I know roughly what we're doing. Okay. Now, I do remember that I did say, like, we're probably going to be underground a lot once we do get going underground. But, to start off here, I will say that we're going to go for, towards Rito Village just to get things started here. Just to get a start, at least. There are other things we can do. There are other things that we will do. But, or there are things we can do above ground and whatnot. And so much questing, like this actually over here. I'm going to actually go inside of this... this over here. Chase the bloopy in there. I didn't get a picture of it, dang it. Of course it did. Okay. Well, that sucks. Something I forgot to mention, but I will mention now that we got it, is as we start... Perfect. Something I will say, at least for a minor completion thing. I'm not going to complete it, although I will tell you guys of it, so if I forget it, you guys can do it, is take pictures of creatures, friend or foe, I believe. Mainly foe, but take pictures of creatures for something we can do a little bit later on in our adventure. Well, a couple things later on, actually. But yeah, take a couple pictures of creatures, because they will be very useful. But also, if you think you can get a picture of something in a picture of a creature in some kind of a funny pose in some sense, do so. Because that will pay into one of two side quests I'm thinking of. But also, nah, come here. I'm not there. Hold on, before you do anything else, mine. Okay, that's fine. Ow. Okay, I deserve that hit. Get down here. Oh, I just knocked his block off. You know, I didn't think I was going to be knocking blocks off today, but here I am knocking blocks off. But anyway. But yeah. Oh, we're done with this already. So, I'm going to, like I've mentioned, I'm going to be, well, I think I've mentioned many times in the past. Sorry, I'm trying to be insightful and helpful, but I won't lie. I literally just got off work like 20 minutes ago, and my brain's still a scrambled egg, and I haven't even edited the last recording session yet. I'm just here. I'm just here doing things. Oh. Can I? Okay, there we go. Zoom in. I'm not going to be going for a Hyrule Compendium at all. I'm just getting pictures of creatures that I can remember of. But I will say, there is one creature we'll want to get a picture of before we do much else. Just because. Also, I hate trying to capture these things, so I'm just going to shoot one down to get it. Anyway. Do I have bombs? I do have bombs. I did pick up some earlier. Now, I believe, is this a... Yes, it is. So, big thing I want to make sure I got a picture of was a bubble frog, because this will help tremendously once we get something. I'm just also going to get a nice picture of it. This will help for something that we'll unlock much later. If you're going to be somebody who's going to be nutty and try and go for, like, all bubble frogs. Ooh, very important. Let me first get a picture of it. This is a matter. But I also want a picture of some of this just for a tracking thing we'll get later. That's kind of what most of these pictures are for, is just tracking, really. So, hardy truffles. Starting off here with what we got. Do I have something that... Yes, I do. Starting off here with what we've got. Starting off with what we have for, you know... healing, cooking, all that stuff. You know, food items. We have plenty to recover what little hearts we already have. Also, let's get rid of this, because I want the really long stick. This is the good... I missed another one. What we have for food and healing items as of now is plenty good enough. That's plenty good enough. But those hardy truffles, grab them, not only for a side quest later on, but also... A spiky spear, you says. Oh, I didn't mean to sort. Oops. I just wanted to drop... Yeah, I just want to drop that. Yeah, what we have for healing items is plenty good as is. But we will need, in a little while... Yeah, in a little bit, we'll actually want to make sure we get plenty of those hardy truffles, again, for a side quest, but also so that way we can... Give me the big bright blue, thank you. But also because later, I mean... You can kind of tell where I'm going with this, even though I'm trying to be coy about it. Like, these hardy truffles will be cooking up later, and they're going to be your best healing item in the game. Just flat out. There is no, unless you have, no, it is just flat out your best healing item you will get in the game. That's it. Which I will hurry, scurry away, I guess. Which will, did that respawn, by the way? No, it did not. Which we'll definitely look into that more once we get there, but we'll look more into like the healing properties of one of those later. But just know, if you see a hardy truffle, there's even a variation called a big hardy truffle that we'll see later on in the game. If you see them, pick them up. Like, go out of your way to pick them up. It will be a lifesaver, and again, best healing item in the game. I might even cook one a little bit just to show it off. As for now, I'm actually going to be beelining for one more thing we're going to do above ground before we basically live entirely underground. Like, we will not be leaving the underground. What it's... Oh, the rock. I was about to say, what do they want me to take? Probably a restless cricket. You're going to see me do that so much where I'm just going to be walking along and it's just going to... And you're just going to see the words pick up fly up on screen. And then I will forget that. Do you cut? Yes. Now, a dumb thing that I'm just going to do a little bit of. This looks stupid. Oh, hi, cricket. I'm not after crickets. I'm actually after something else. Thankfully, this doesn't... Really? Oh, hightail lizard. Cool. This is actually for another quest we can do later. Another cricket. I'll leave it be. But in the grasses in the world, there are many restless crickets. No, there's supposed to be a material we can gather up. There is a cooking ingredient we can get. And this is... Oh my gosh. It's not supposed to be this rare. Maybe it's in other areas, but... I mean, just spoiling it. There's supposed to be rice. You're supposed to be able to cut grass and get rice. What the correlation is on rice to grass, I don't know. Just, trust me when I say that it is something you can have. You know, cut grass, get rice. Oh, there were several worm darners. So, occasionally, if I think of it, I might stop and just cut the grass really quick. See if I can get any rice. Just because I think there is a quest we'll probably be going to in a little bit. It might actually be like one of the first quests we'll go and handle once we're back above ground. Which, again, that might not be for a while yet. When we're back above ground, it's one of the first quests we'll probably tackle. And it's a chain of quests that require you to have... a bunch of rice. I think 20... Well, 20 count of them, but they say 20 bales. We'll continue our trek to the Rito area next time. Everyone, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you then. Take care.